And welcome to Around the XFA with Alex Williams / XFA Podcast. I'm here today with Mr. Patrick Clean, the Bears
Hey,
owner.
what's going on, man? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much for coming. We wanted to talk about your draft. The draft was last night. You had drafted Jerry Neal. One of the biggest picks, I think, was Jerry Neal being, your fourth round draft pick, if I'm correct, fourth or fifth.
No, actually, he was my number 17th pick in the first round.
Oh, yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your fourth round, you drafted a little wide receiver, correct? Or something like
No,
that, defense.
no. Well, in the fourth round, I think I drafted a defensive end or a linebacker.
Oh, well, that's always a
But
good thing.
yeah, well, my team had a lot of needs. The main one was a quarterback. We let Cutler go. His
Yeah,
contract was 18 million a year, so
yeah.
we weren't ready to pay that next year for.
It's crazy. $18 million for Jay Cutler. Okay, he got $18 million. It's unbelievable. It's just like $18 million when I could go out there and get a new franchise quarterback and for cheap.
Yeah, right now we picked up this guy Jerry Neal, who we're really pumped about. He it was between him and the guy that Patriots picked up, Jordan. But we thought that Neal was a better fit for what we had going on. And plus, like you said, with the contract, it's a little bit cheaper than 18 million a year. We can pick
Yeah,
up him and several other players. We're
yeah,
pretty busy in the off season, so we made a lot of moves.
yeah. It's you guys definitely made the draft more interesting by taking. You had the 17th pick. You took Jerry Neal, and you're just trying to rephrase that franchise and make it better.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. The previous leadership, they signed some big contracts and we're trying to make things happen, but it didn't quite work out for them. And when I came in, there was a lot of aging players who had really, really big contracts that need to be let go. And the first couple seasons, I probably should have rebuilt the team right away, but we tried to be competitive and fell short of making the playoffs. Being 10-6 2 years in a row was kind of rough. Not sitting outside watching everybody else play. So right now we're just kind of rebuilding, refocusing, and we're going to take this year kind of one step at a time, and then hopefully next season we'll be able to make a big splash.
I think that I've heard some talk. I don't know if you want this wide receiver, but Chaz has been willing to offer up Odell Beckham Jr. Is he an option on your draft board as a first round draft pick for him?
Um, that Odell Beckham Jr. would be a nice addition. Right now, our focus is trying to get our offensive line a little better, a little tightened up, and our defense was the main focus when I came in. It was, probably the worst in the league.
Yes, correct.
It was
It
it
was
was
like
tough to stop.
29th.
Yeah, it was tough to stop anybody, especially that the first year we came in. We had a tough time stopping the run. We switched from a 4-3 to a 3-4,
Wow.
and we like what happened last year. We were stopping drives a little bit better and getting people to pump more, which gave our offense a little better opportunity to make plays. So
I
hopefully
mean,
we'll be able to take that a step further this year.
you kind of like just took this franchise that was the crappiest franchise. You invested in it, and you've made this team better than it was when it was. You took away Jay Cutler, which was a big move, I think. 18
Yeah,
million. As an investor, I would have done the same thing. Jay Cutler's not meant to be. He's not pro quarterback ready. He's shown
well,
over the years like how he played for the Bears and the Broncos and everything like that. He's just
you know
average.
he, he's had some rough goes. Our last 2 years with him weren't too bad. Last year he started out great actually and got hurt mid-season, so that was kind of rough. We had to go with Blaine Gabbert,
Yeah,
and
Blaine. He's okay, but I can't believe it. But first round, fifth pick. I'm correct. If I'm correct, sixth pick. Went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, got cut. Went to the 49ers, got cut. And then he goes
yeah,
to the
he's had a
Chicago
rough go.
Bears.
Yeah, he's with us right now. He'll be our backup this year too.
Have
Um,
you made any choices at running back? You lost Matt Forte this season, and that's a big.
we let Forte go, and we were lucky enough to get Frank Gore in the free agency,
Yeah.
and then we made a trade with the Vikings and picked up Hilo Jr.
Mm,
So
hmm
we do have some decent running backs. We think Gore will be able to, or he's not going to be all day, every day back for us. So that's why we got Hilo Jr. And we think with those two guys, we should be doing all right.
Yeah. But as you said, your offensive line is, you say, as crap. It's a bad line. You
It's
understand?
it's been horrible. We did make a few moves. We picked up a new center in T.J. Mosley. We think we're going to start him, and then we picked up another guy, Manny Ramirez, in free agency,
Hmm.
and we moved him to right tackle.
Manny
So
Ramirez. He's your DH. He's your
yeah,
designated
right.
batter.
Yeah, well, we're not afraid of those PEDs in Chicago. We
Yeah,
don't mind
you
those.
guys play great baseball out there too.
Hey, we go Cubs this year. That's what we're talking about. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I'm talking about I'm talking about the Reds, man. They're pretty good. You know,
Yeah, I don't know about that, but all
yeah.
right.
But back on the topic of your team. So, is there a position that you loved to pick this year? What was your favorite guy to pick, or just round wise, or anything like that?
Um, well, I quarterback was obviously a huge need, and I was
Yep.
very happy with how that worked out. My favorite position is probably middle linebacker, but we have two guys that are really good at that position right now, so I didn't have to actually draft middle linebacker. But being a huge Bears fan my entire life, and watching the Bears, seeing Urlacher and
Yeah.
Singletary, linebackers are definitely a big part of Chicago football.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Brian Urlacher retired this season, and I mean last season, and it made a big impact on the NFL. Saying goodbye to their Chicago Bears. As you could say, they're fanatic. Like that was their guy that they was like the franchise of the company, and it just shut down. And that's why Chicago's been in a rut the last almost 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, it's been tough not seeing Urlacher on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are going to be retiring number 50 jersey, right? Correct.
Yeah, 50. Well, we would like to retire number 54. The NFL has had some issues with us retiring numbers. They think we retired a few too many.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
we're we're running out of numbers to give our players. So I think we'd like to maybe we should do like a Ring of Honor thing now. But
yeah.
as far as retiring numbers, I'm not too sure we can do that anymore.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Klein.
Yep. Thank you.
I mean, Mr. Clean, but anyway, just just wanted to say, I've got a really good joke for you. I hope you like this joke. So Mr. Gift for the Seattle Seahawks, correct?
I do.
All right, you do business with him, and I don't know if you know who his wife is, Emily. Emily Giff.
I've heard that is his wife's name. I've never actually. I don't know who she is though.
Yeah. Okay. So the Seahawks have moved. Apparently, this is a joke, of course. They've moved. Gift's moving his team to Miami.
Okay.
No, no kidding. He's moving Russell Wilson to Miami so he doesn't get caught up in the snow all the time, or like heavy rain all the time. He gets to play in sunny weather and have a hot tub in the stadium.
Okay.
And what do you? I just want your perspective on this.
Oh, what do I feel about
What do you feel
Russell
about
Wilson
Seahawks
going
moving
to?
to Miami?
Well, I mean, that would be different. That's for sure. I'd see Giff as more of a Seattle guy actually. I maybe,
Gets
but
his
I
wife
don't
to
know.
invest in the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be something. But yeah, thanks for having me on your show though, bud. And
Thank you for
we'll have to do
coming.
it.
I mean,
We'll have to do it again sometime.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching Around the XFA with Alex Williams / XFA Podcast. Hope you enjoyed, and everybody have a good night. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Around the XFA with Alex Williams. I'm here today with Jared Lull of the Detroit Lions. How you doing, Jared?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just gotta break down. I'm pretty tough on these questions, and I'm gonna need you to stay with me on these
Okay.
questions. All right.
Okay.
So, what was your first round draft pick, and why did? I mean, I see that you drafted him, and why did you draft this defensive tackle, or did you need this position at all?
I didn't think I needed the position. The computer drafted for me, and I can't complain with who they got. This Nolan Vern out of Georgia. He seems like he's going to be a stud, and hopefully I can, make him a stud in this league.
All right. So your team was pretty much terrible last season. Not to be rude, but I mean, it was a terrible franchise. I mean, you came in your first season. I think you went 5-7, and I mean, you didn't make the playoffs. You're in the one of the toughest divisions with Mr. Graver and Mr. Kreis. So I mean, how do you handle the division, and what are you going to do walking into this season?
You just have to handle the division, one game at a time. We got a lot of good owners in this division. It's a tough division. Last year, I thought I had a good team. I thought it could have maybe made a push towards the playoffs, but as we all know, my team took a major step backwards. It's going to be a challenge again this year, and we'll just see, what happens.
Yeah, I mean, how many years does Megatron have left? I mean, contract wise.
Oh, contract-wise, let's take a look here. I think he's signed for a couple. He has 4 years remaining.
All right, and I see.
7-year contract.
I mean, his money, what he wants, is pretty a lot. I mean, that's a lot of money there. I'm hearing.
Well, yeah. See, we're in the 2016 season right now.
Actually, I think it's the 2017 season.
Oh, okay. So right now, this year he's getting paid $14.5 million.
Oh wow. But it's Megatron.
Yeah, 2019 is when it gets big. He's getting paid $26.2 million in 2019.
Oh my god, dude, that's a lot of money. I mean, that may be the year you should cut him. I mean.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, you have a stud offense. I'm not gonna lie. You have, I think you have Reggie Bush still, or Jork Bell. I think one of those two.
Actually, no. Reggie Bush retired last season. Before this season.
Correct. I forgot.
So yeah, I got Jork Bell and Dunbar as my running backs, and I got a rookie now that the computer picked up for me somewhere in the later rounds. I want to say the 6th.
So that was your staff calling, because I know you were with family, and so you let your staff call your computer staff and everybody else call the game or your picks, right? Correct.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you definitely got some stud players here. I mean, you have a great quarterback in Matthew Stafford. You've got a beast wide receiver in Calvin Johnson. You have Joik Bell, which is a decent halfback, but the defense, though, that's what you're seeing.
You're kind of breaking up.
Oh, okay. Does this work better?
Yeah.
Right. So, sorry guys for the disconnection, but anyway, you have a stud offense basically, and where's your defense at right now? Your cornerbacks, I mean, free safeties.
During the draft, it seemed the computer focused mostly on my defense.
It's a good thing. Your team.
Yeah. Not only did they give me a pretty good defensive tackle, but in the 3rd round, I got a right outside linebacker by the name of Demetrius Mincy.
That's
out of LSU.
That's a beautiful. I mean, it's hard to explain, Mr. Lowell. I mean, your team's amazingly a talented team, but the division you're in is definitely a crushing division. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to play the Super Bowl champs again, and then you got to play Graver on top of it. I mean, that's a Mr. Graver on top of it. I mean, that's a tough division. And I mean, going forward, that NFC is getting a little bit tougher in divisions, but I mean, AFC is pretty much really tough. I mean, it took 10 or 11 wins to get into the playoffs in order to win. I mean, NFC was like 6 wins and you were in. I mean, Carolina was in, but
yeah. No, it's good. It's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging, but I'm looking forward to it. I like playing against those guys in my division, and it's always fun to play against people like Pat and Graver and Christ and all those guys. They bring out the best, and sometimes, well, they bring out the worst and the worst, because it seems every time I play my division games, my team doesn't show up. But hopefully this year they will.
All right, so thank you for your time, Mr. Lowell. I mean, thanks for just chilling. And
Yep.
thanks, guys. This is the XFA Podcast / Around the XFA with Alex Williams. Everybody have a great night, and wait for the next episode.